I'm waiting for. Feel the right in a world of tide for sure. Na 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 na. Got to get that feeling.
Hello, loves. It's me, Sunshine. Welcome, welcome. We have such an amazing guest tonight, Lisa Fazio, the artist. Yes, she's got such amazing stories to tell and events that she's going to share. And let's bring her on. Yay! Hey, love. Do you see me?
Give me 1 second. I'm gonna get my Wi-Fi is fading.
Okay. So Lisa and I, we've known each other for a couple of years.
Having trouble connecting. Is unstable.
And she's such a beautiful soul, such an inspiration. I took one of her classes the other night, so that was fun. Girls' night out on Thursday. She's having one.
I'm coming. Why is my Wi-Fi unstable?
You're good. You're
so
good.
Electronic.
Woo!
Oh, there you go.
Sliding on in like the hurricane that you are. Woo!
You made my Wi-Fi so electrical that it was like what?
It's all good.
Did you think it was ever going to be anything normal when I got on?
It was that meditation we did, right? Oh my goodness. So welcome, love.
Yay!
Yay! So
my soul sister from another mother who's wearing art as we speak.
Yes, and you've got your art right behind you.
Yes.
And I have my art behind me too.
Yes, we're art girls.
Your wings. We got the wings. Woo! I love it. I love it. Don't fly away, though, girl.
I'm trying to figure where am I in the middle? I got to find my hair here. I'm in the middle here. I'm in the middle here. Hold back here. How are you? How is today going?
Today is amazing. I actually took the day off today. So I had a me day today.
Nice.
Yeah.
Nice. Every day is a me day for me if the sun is out.
Yeah.
So what can I do outside? That's how I run my life.
Well, I was outside for a while, so I just love the sun, right? That sunshine. Oh, I forgot to put your ticker up. Let me put your info up. There it is.
I have a ticker? Oh my gosh.
A ticker.
Don't show everybody. I don't know what that means, but okay.
So Lisa, tell us how you started. Were you always drawing, even as a little girl?
This is a kind of a fun story I don't think I shared with you. So when I was little, everybody got a coloring book. And one day I drew a picture of my mom. I was probably about 4, and I drew it on the back of the coloring book. Okay. And she had a habit of getting changed in front of us as kids because I guess she was watching us at the same time. So I kind of drew her naked. And my sisters saw it. They were 4 years older than me. And they went, "Mommy, Lisa drew a naked person. Look at this." And my mother's like, "Lisa, what is that?" And I'm like, "It's you, Mom." And she thought it was so great. Of course, the boobies are like this, big boobs.
Yeah.
It was to die for. My mother did not mind at all. She put that on the refrigerator. So that was my first drawing on the refrigerator.
I love it.
My mother. So,
and
I guess I felt bad because my sisters were, I think what happens is when you grow up as the artist in the family, everybody thinks that's only your platform and no one else can share it with you, but that's not true. My mother was really good at window designing. Everybody has a different flair of being an artist. And I don't know what the title artist means to you or anybody else, but if you do gardening and you do the layering of the different colors, if you throw your pillows around and have certain colors around and move your chairs around in your house, you're sort of an artist of space.
Yeah.
Right. So we're all artists in our own right.
I say, if you can create, you are an artist,
That's
right?
That's right. I mean, that's a good way to, I mean, I always tell everybody that, because some people will say, I've taught in the studio for over 30 years. This is my, the garden art studio that I had founded, when I had purchased the house as my second home. And people would come to me and go, oh my, so-and-so's going to take art with you, but they're not really going to be an artist. And I looked at them and I was like, I don't even know what that's supposed to mean. So I says, you know what, sweetheart, everything you see in this room, the clothes you're wearing, the computer, the car you're driving, all had to be drawn out, conceptualized in an artist's mind first.
Yeah.
So how dare you say that there is no value in art when everything is up here first? And even when we're connecting to the divine, is a consciousness that is, there are no words. So in other words, it's an intuitive sense. It's sort of a gut. So the left side of the brain is 2 + 2, but the right side that doesn't want to know the math, doesn't want to know your name, is really understanding you as a whole, the gestation of the whole of you, just starts drawing. It's just starts creating. It doesn't have to know I'm doing eyelashes, I'm doing this. It's not the analytical or the ego side. It is the nonverbal side. So you need to know how to balance both in order to survive today when your boss is saying, hey, do you have an idea? Where do you think that's coming from? I mean, we didn't have Google years ago. You have Google here, Google's in your head.
Yeah.
So, so there's a lot of value in being an artist. And growing up, I think over the years, when you were a kid, oh, can you draw this for me? I did denim jackets back in high school.
I did those too.
Yeah. Yes. And you had to figure out how to get the acrylic on the canvas, on the denim without it cracking. So you had to figure out like your whole strategy. Then I've had people come up to me and tell me they still have their jacket, which is a lot of fun. I did not make myself a jacket. I embroidered my jacket.
Oh.
It took me, I did the back stitch, which was insane. And then it took me 30 years because I started and then I changed my mind and started and kept, and so I just made myself crazy. So now the jacket is not worn. I don't have it in the studio. I used to have it in the studio. I bought a man small because I was a tiny girl back in the day, and hello, it doesn't fit me. So my daughter said they would wear it for one day. What'd
you embroider on it?
What?
What'd you put on it?
I put a sunset. How big?
Oh, I love it.
Like and it was the entire back stitch, so the back and the front, like if you and that was insane with your hands. But I did it like when somebody was driving. So this way I didn't have to watch their driving. So I have like this is a very funny story. I even took it, this is so embarrassing. I took it even when I was in labor with my first daughter because I thought I was going to sit and do so. Because everybody talks about being in labor for 15 hours. And the person looked and they go, so your wife brought a boom box. She brought sewing. Can you tell I never want to be born? It's really bad. I mean, in my car, I always carry because I just like to always be, I guess, artistically entertained.
I'm the same way. If I go get my nails done, I have my crochet bag,
Okay.
And I'm crocheting instead of everybody on the phone. I'm crocheting. I'm creating.
Oh, because you're waiting. Oh.
Well, as he's doing my toes, I'm crocheting.
Oh, wow. That's very good, useful.
Yeah. If I'm waiting at a doctor's office, I bring my crochet.
Very good. Very good. I usually download Mrs. Maisel on Prime because I love her. I love Lucy because if I'm like some of my doctor visits have been very stressful, and I just sit there and laugh my ass off because I'm like, I'm watching this and I watch the same thing over and over again. I just love those. So yeah, everybody's got to do their own little zen.
Yeah.
Their own little zen. So yeah, so that's sort of, did that answer your question? So I've always kind of been an artist. I made my living as an interior designer. I opened up 5 interior design showrooms because I could draw quickly. And then I didn't realize that I was using my intuitive sense that if you came to me and said, I kind of want this bedroom set up or whatever it is, I didn't realize I was astro traveling, and I would draw your room out 3-dimensionally back in a day when we didn't have computers. And they would go, but how did you know where that was?
Ah,
And I was like, and then when I moved on, and then I opened the studio, and I had kids, mostly kids, and a lot of them went on to receiving full art scholarships. I would create their whole portfolio for them or assist them in creating it. Anyway, so when the kids would come, I did like a sort of an orientation, and parents used to think that was because I was testing their ability to have talent. I said, no, I was testing their ability for readiness. If I had a child that was extremely talented and they were like, what do I need you for? Well, then you don't need me. You know, you can teach yourself. Goodbye. So it was really like a readiness of exchange. And a lot of times I would find kids who were sitting in the lunchroom alone. You know, I would see them, you know, in their space, and I would see their, you know, their dynamics of their family. And so I would be bridging the gap to help them feel more comfortable, because the world is forever changing, right? So
right.
I was sort of like a safe haven, and I had like a variety of kids in different groups. I didn't believe in sectioning kids based upon talent. Parents are very big into that. You know, are they going to be in the gifted program? I can't tell you how much that word bothers me. Everybody is gifted. So even my own kids, when they went to school, and they would say, well, you know, we only take the kids out if they're special need or if they're gifted. So where does that leave everybody else in between? That
Right.
is rock. I said there's several ways that people learn, and you're only addressing 2. That's what I'm hearing. I said, so in my studio, I teach the same way. I teach the creative process. I mean, you've just taken a class of mine. You saw
I did.
we didn't do any pencil sketching. I was so proud of the group that you didn't have me pull a stencil out. As much as I know, there was one person that really wanted me to do it. No, you have to get through the uncomfortableness to know. And then the honor that you created it on your own is huge, because then you are validating yourself. I can tell you, how that looks great. You painted the perfect color, yada, yada. Hello, if it comes from you, hey, I made this cool color, you know, then it comes from you. And I don't have to, you know, BS bull your ego up. It is from you. And
Right.
then you bridge from that, because if I'm interrupting that process, you're not going to learn. You're always going to be attached to me. You're going to take this color and this color, you're going to put it together, and then magically do you need assistance for that? If you really want to match a color on a shirt or match, yes, I get that. But just like myself, it's trial and error. If you picked out Coca-Cola red and I picked out Coca-Cola red, it would be 2 different reds.
Right.
And even let's say the blue sky, believe it or not, is very different blue here, because I do plein air outdoor painting. So the blue here, the color blue is very different than in Arizona. You have to realize is that, you know, and even the way it's on the horizon, it changes as well. That's why even looking at a painting, you could almost kind of tell the temperature or where it is based upon the colors. Again, that is something that you have to learn in trial and error, either on location or just coming back to the studio and really studying. You can't teach that to me, right? You know, I think in the class I said to you, hey, let's all hit the curb. Remember I said it's like driving, like you have to feel what it feels like to hit the curb to know, all right, that's what the curb feels like.
Yeah.
Right. So that's what
And not judge yourself, you know. A lot of artists judge themselves, or people who are beginning to learn, you know, they're judging themselves and being hard on themselves.
Again,
right?
that's the left side of the brain. So if you
Right.
address that part, you know, I teach a class called Drawing on the Right Side of the Brain. It's a whole philosophy of, you know, turning things upside down and looking, you know, in my studio, which I'll show you in a little bit, I have an overhead mirror for that reason. And in my office, I have one as well. It's not good feng shui, but it's meant for that reason to kind of, you know, I mean, growing up, being dyslexic was difficult, but it worked to my advantage in my business of interior design, because I could space change differently than everybody else could. I'd be the person that we would go get the compact car, and I'd tell you how to figure out how to get the luggage in, because I could spatially figure that out.
We've got
You know?
Christine saying hello.
Hello, Christine. Mwah. How are you, baby? How are you doing? Yeah, so I think everyone has to really attune to what they're really, really good at. And if you're not really sure, actually it changes. I'm sure, like yourself, your gifts, different things like
Oh,
your
yeah.
art, everything, all our skills are cumulative. So if you don't learn this, you can't get to this. So the same thing with painting. People will say to me, "Oh, you know, can I have?" No, I says I keep all my. I think I said that the other day in the class. I keep all my first paintings. They're my. They have a layer of learning in there for me, and that's not for you. It's for me. And a lot of famous artists, if you x-ray the paintings, that's not something that I made up. That is something that's been done through the age of time, is that if you x-ray some famous people's art, you'll see another whole painting underneath. One part of it is maybe the process, and one part of it is because they ran out of money.
Ah,
And they're just painting over the canvas, so they need that.
I sell my originals. I do.
Whatever you're comfortable with.
Yeah, yeah.
Whatever
And
you're
then
comfortable with.
I make prints out of them. And
Right. Well,
yes,
this is really my creative, like my thinking process, what I mean?
right.
It really depends. And it's really kind of a private dialogue. I don't know how to, like, I don't have it with me now, but I think I just posted it in my live today, my sketchbook. People will say, why do you spend so much time? I'm creating art for clients, right, all day. If I don't create art for myself or just do some what I call free range thinking, it's sort of like walking without a destination. I'm
Right,
not able
right.
to drain my brain. I'm going to run out of ideas. And so everybody else, the same thing. Like, it's nice to not have an agenda for a period of time, of just really truly being in the now moment, whether that's cleaning or walking or just looking, observing. You have to find that way to empty or dump out, otherwise it's too much of an overload, right, for all of us.
Oh, definitely. We have to do what brings us joy, right?
Or just quietness, or just like,
Yeah.
just quietness, so that this way you can find centered self, whatever that means to you. Some people say they zone out driving. They'll say, oh, I don't mind driving, X amount of time to work, because that's where that's where you're zoning out. Okay, great. Another woman I met at a workshop, and I was like, how long did it take you to get here? And she was like, 5 CDs. Back in the day, CD. I was like, oh, and she looked forward to listening to those 5 CDs to get to her destination.
That's awesome.
I think that's the other thing that we could talk about, is the whole process of how you get, how do you get to your intuitive self? How do you get to your artistic self? That's
Well,
really truly up to you. Like, it changes.
Yeah, I was gonna ask, when did you notice you're intuitive?
Probably I think we were talking the other day. I don't know. My background is that I grew up in a hospice house. My grandmother was dying of colon cancer. Back in the day, they just sent you home. My mother was taking care of her, and when she died, she was living in the house with us for 3 years. The family never really told me where she went, so I went from room to room as a little girl at 5. So when you're 5 and someone dies, you don't grieve the same as someone who's an adult. So they felt that I wasn't mature enough to really understand, but I did know what fear meant, and I did know what abandonment meant. And so therefore I made it my mission to figure out where she went. So then I just kept taking classes about the other side. So death and dying was presented to me in high school, and voices kept coming in. And I had like a lot of visions, and I became frightened, because who am I going to talk to? Everybody's mourning in the house. Like, I see grandma, I see more than one grandma, that kind of a thing. So that sort of was the beginning. And like everyone else, you either push it down, but I studied at an ashram actually in my teenage years, and my parents were afraid I was going to get to be in a cult. So they purposely made sure I tried to lose that phone number. I never forget that. They kept calling, and I studied for a couple of years, and that's what really opened up my meditation, my third eye. I would sit with the guru, and he would, open my third eye, and I thought, this is a really cool psychedelic world I'm in here. And then I made it my effort that I said, I always want to be, I don't want to say married to spirit, but that would be my, I think even from an early age, when you grow up with that detachment where family has lied to you and you feel like, well, they're not reliable. who is reliable? Well, source or God is reliable. And I learned that, very early on. So I just said, that's going to be my full commitment. And even when I had relationships with significant others, I told them right up front, this is the first, this is who's first, a relationship is second. And I've always had that. And I think that it's really a very intimate bond that you have with spirit, where you carry through many lifetimes. It's not just this lifetime. And then what's cool is that you and I and other spirit people, we're all blending together in this thread of energy and spirit, which is so cool. I have to tell you, I don't know about you, Sunshine, but you can't go back. Like, once you open this up, you're like, I never forget when someone told me, like, once you make the commitment to see, you can't say, hello, I don't want to see anymore. And then you're in. You're either in or you're out.
Yeah.
Am I right? And then it's so, I don't know what to say. It's like eating a delicious seven layer cake or something. Like, it's just so uber delicious that it's more colorful, more vibrant. I don't know. Right? Am I right? And then you're like, the other stuff's kind of boring, the regular life. Right? This is more fun. Yeah, this feels more alive,
Yes.
Yeah. So did that answer your question?
It
So
did.
Yes,
It did. Yes.
Early on. So
Early on. I love it. So tell us a story.
tell us a story. Okay, so what's the cool story I could tell you?
Well,
I could tell you the story about the lady of the picture with the blue purple face I sent you.
Oh.
Am I ready for that one?
Yeah, but I didn't, I couldn't download it.
Oh, I don't think.
Picture.
Okay, I don't have it. I'm on my phone. Otherwise, I would flash it up.
Yeah.
So I'll just tell you the story. Okay,
Yeah.
so let's go. Let's go a little bit. Okay, so let's go to present-ish. So when I first started, so let's talk about soul art. So I am a psychic artist medium. So yes, everybody studies with people and they enhance their gifts. I started having my mentor say to me, "You're going to do portraits," and I'm like, "Hell no! I like flowers. I don't know what you're talking about. I do landscape. I'm a landscape guy. There's no way in hell I'm going to do some people's faces." And they were like, "No," and I was like, "You're crazy. Bye bye." And then I just went on my way. And then I just started seeing. Actually, I started seeing images around children first in my class. I started seeing them as angels and started painting different images and drawing. First, I started drawing them in the classroom. And then when they would leave, I'd continue to sketching. And then my daughters looked at it, my daughters, AKA two psychology majors, said to me, "What the hell is that? Like, you can't be making the kids into angels and stuff. They're not dead." And I was like, "Oh God, I said, "But that's an angelic sense I'm sensing from them." And they're like, "No." So in the beginning, it was uncomfortable for my family to see a shift in my art. And then I think that then I started getting validation when I started asking adults in our spirit community, "Do you mind?" Like, so one of the first people was Terry Leone. And I said, and now Terry Leone, if you know, her background is a nurse. And I didn't really know her that well at that time. And I wasn't sure if she'd think I was a little freakazoid if I said, "You know what, can I ask you a question? I see like unicorns around you. Is that like okay? Like, I don't," and she's like, "Are you kidding? I collected those." And then we began talking and I was like, "I'm gonna like just paint you. Is that okay?" And she's like, "I would love that." And then we started, and then it just started to snowball. The next person so what would happen is then the second part of that story is, so now I paint her and she's over here. So this is like a copy of it. So I don't know if people have seen it, but it's all the way back there. So it's a big head. It has unicorns on it and Mount Mary. And I put stones in it. I want to make everybody dizzy. So I give it to her. And then I give her a message. Spirit gives me a message with it. It's long. And then she calls me up, whatever. And she goes, "Do you know what this is doing to me?" Shit, I have no idea. And she's like, "I'm traveling with it. I'm going to sleep and I'm going into another space. And then when I look at it, it kind of shifts. Do you know that it has like energy to it?" I'm like, "No. Are you smoking something I missed here? Like, what is going on?" And then as each person started coming in, so either the people were coming in or the materials were coming in, that's when there was a vibrational shift between me and the client. Again, some people, I have no idea who you are, what you're about. it's not my business. And then I'm just getting messages from spirit. And then if anybody knows me, I have this hilarious dialogue with spirit where I'm always, not going to say arguing, but always asking them a lot of questions. And they're like, just do what we say. It's almost like, Wizard of Oz, what are you asking us? And I'm like, but I really want to be making sure it's really, 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 really correct. So in that story, I did a wonderful woman named Diane. She was famous for her orbs that we would be sitting, and she'd take her camera, and we'd be, and she'd get up, we'd be on a retreat, and she'd go outside, and then she'd be taking these pictures, and she'd come back and look at all these orbs, these moving orbs, lights, all these, what? So then I forget, one time I went out, I'm like, I'll follow her. I have a camera. And I follow her, and I'm seeing what she's doing and taking a picture, and nothing is coming out on my camera. It's coming out of her camera, and I'm like, what are we doing here? So anyway, she would do this, post here, same thing, concept like what I'm saying, is this is her gift. So she asked me to paint her, and I was like, okay. So I'm like, well, Spirit wants me to have you hold one of the globes. And they want me to make you purple, but I feel really bad because I made Terry like skin tone, and I don't know. I'm gonna make you purple. What are you, a purple people eater? Like, what the heck? So I'm a purple people. You want to be a purple people eater? So I was like, again, this is out of my norm. I'm like, I don't know. I asked her to go into her bathroom and take a flashlight underneath her face so I could get the red shadows. When you're doing a portrait, no one wants a big nose. Okay, I don't know how to put that. You want to look pretty, and it's very funny when you do portraits. Like when you give it to someone, there's a whole adjustment period of, does it look like them? Does it not? And funny backstories. I had a woman that was doing this when she got a portrait like this. So obviously she wanted to be skinny, So and then when I gave her the portrait, I was like, why does it look so different when she hung it up on her mantle? She had taken lipstick and put it on this freaking paint. What? So goodness. I was like, so people have this whole idea. So for Diane, I was like, I had my own idea. I don't want to make her purple. So I said, just go into the bathroom and put a flashlight underneath, and I'll see what your shadows are. And then she texts it back to me, and she goes, I think you're supposed to make me purple. Oh, you're going to show it? There's the purple orb in front of her face in the bathroom. So I was like so spooked by that. I was like, oh my God, I got to do that. So yeah, so that's her portrait. It's purple. Yeah, I had to make it purple. So I do listen to spirit, and sometimes it takes me a while because I'm just this thing. But there's an energy exchange of when I work with a client. Again, remember we're on a linear time lane, right? So it's not present, past, future. It's all the same. So it's really just a matter of how should I explain this to people? One time they interviewed Paul McCartney, and they asked him, where do your ideas come from? Because all the songs are different. And he had explained that it was a vibration of sound. And I totally related with that when I see an image or an idea, it's above me, and it's up to me to grab it and take hold, or to allow it to flow and allow someone else to come up with the idea. Right. So with the soul work, it's the same thing, that it's a vibration that I kind of either attract who's supposed to be in the studio. And the other thing is, it's very cool, is perhaps you'll come to me, and then there'll be a pause, and then someone else, and you're supposed to be together because there's an exchange between the strengths of the two people. So I have to step back and allow that. I have nothing to do with any of that. I'm just watching it. So this is my classroom, and then my office is, I do my sometimes lives from there. That's the room of creation. I have a lot of overhead, I don't even know, macabres and stuff, like all these kind of crystal things above my head, and they kind of like change color and stuff while I'm working. Trust me, it's just very psychedelic. And I'm honestly not smoking anything. I just sit there and go, okay, the lights change when the light comes in, and then it does this whole thing. It's pretty cool. Sometimes a rainbow goes on the artwork, and I'm like, it's getting charged. Again, I try to step back. It's very cool. So with the art, I then give the client a reading, and then they sit with it and get their own reading. So what I've developed is I have some people just get their eyes done. So
I have the eyes up on the corner here. You see it?
Oh yeah, perfect. Yeah, so some people just get their eyes done, which is fine because maybe they don't want their whole face. They don't want to be, because again, there's a whole thing of your image, what you look.
Right.
So the eyes are the least intimidating, and then the eyes, windows to the soul kind of thing. And there might be like just colors sometimes that might come in only. And this technique is in watercolor. I think the one that you have is in ink. This is in ink. So that's a basic one. But the other package that I came up with was more of your whole body ish. This one's on paper. So this one will have the images again that come in. And this is a whole layering technique with pen and ink and watercolor that come in. And this series is going to be part of the deck. And I'm pretty sure I'm asking Spirit the number again. So
Nice.
this one, each person brings some type of light element to the deck. And so we'll have the vibrational energy of each person. So some people might have a website. Some people might be, Reiki people, some people may not. But what I thought was really cool about it is that they're alive. Some of these decks, might just be like a computer sketch and they all kind of look the same, but these are actually live people. So it holds the vibration of the person. So that part was cool. So this is a small one. And the one that I showed you over here that I just did for Pat Longo is large. And those are on boards.
Right.
Those are on boards and they have stones in them. So it's a totally, like this is a copy. So there are stones within the artwork or some type of, sometimes feathers, sometimes one time I saw somebody was going to Sedona on Facebook. Don't even know them. I just messaged them and said, are you going to like this path that has this sand? Could you get me some and send it to me? And they did. So again, I because they said yes is because the vibration of the universe said they were going to say yes. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And they try to like step out of it. So that's really exciting. And I hope to get that project finished in the early part of 2023. So that will be available. And then the second part of that is hoping there'll be a complimentary book that goes with it so that each person could write about their spiritual journey on a page so that you can then relate to that person. So if you get the card, so if you get the card and they say, whatever, let's say, Terry, I'm a nurse also. And, if that's what she chooses to write in her section, and they'll be like, oh, that's relatable. I mean, that's the whole thing about, I think my whole premise is that I'm relatable. I try to come and just say, this is a crappy day, like whatever. I just tell you that life has an up and life has a down. I'm not always up. That's okay. So the same thing with I think the Oracle cards is to show that these are not angelic. I don't know how to say it. They're not, the angels, but in their own sense.
They're real.
They're real. Yeah.
Yeah.
And they could touch them and then, they're attainable. If you want to, connect with them, you can in different, physically or just by card.
I was approached.
That's sort of exciting. Yeah.
Yeah. I was approached too to do them with all my soul portraits that I've done. And I don't know. I'll probably do a deck of cards, but not sure.
Well, the second part of that is it's done digitally. And I am such a manual girl that it has to be touched. So the second part of it, people are like, how does it take so long? And so, well, besides the fact that the process can be, it's not so long. For you, it's long. For me, it's not. Is that because I'm a perfectionist? I am known to like rip it up and start all over again because it has to feel a certain way to me because it has my name on it. I really want it to look good.
Of course.
But the deck itself is done digitally. So, yes, you're scanning it in, but if the colors don't look right, you can't be having all different color cards that don't, each blue will read differently to a computer than another blue. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. So
that's a whole, because people are like, oh, just like do that. And I'm like, yeah, but there's a whole, like, could you hire someone? I guess you could, but it has to feel organic to me. I mean, that's just not hard.
Yeah.
So that's that, and that's exciting. But what I'm doing in the now, which I'm really excited if I can share, is because I want to make sure that we have time for those people who haven't fallen asleep yet. If I haven't told enough entertaining stories yet. I want to talk about if they want to see me in person, I talk about some events that are coming on Zoom and then some events that are coming on in person. I'll
share your website now.
Well, those are two events that are happening. One is on Zoom. That's the intuitive master class that's this Wednesday, and that's going to be really fun. And then also I'm going to be doing paint nights, psychic paint nights. So that's one idea. I'm going to have messages in a bottle. That one I haven't created yet. So what happens is all the ideas come to me, and then the people just show up. And then there's another one I think you would really love. This one is with Brave Wings, She Flies. I haven't created it. So the way I do everything is on tissue paper, but this will be a mirror with Brave Wings, She Flies. So that will be art in the studio, which I should show you. So we have like an overhead mirror here, and I could fit about 12 people at the table. But it all has like special lighting and such, because everything to me has to be color correct, because you want to be able to make sure it's the right color. So the only thing that's not, those are ones hand tactile in your hands, but the intuitive master class, which is Wednesday, is on Zoom. And basically that one is very cool. Everybody, like I said to you, has intuitive gifts, but do you really know when they're coming in, and then why are they important? So for me, I have shared my journey, my medical journey of having a stroke from the virus 2 years ago. If you don't really know what is best for your interest, you have a lot of people telling you what to do. I mean, everybody's had an illness where they've had to sit and think, do I want to take all this medicine that's being offered or all these modalities? You have to pick and choose what feels right for you. And who's going to know that but you, right? So to me, your intuitive sense is extremely important, because it's sort of like your wise self. So if you ask your wise self, they had no idea. They just knew the transverse myelitis, that either A, you die, B, you're in a wheelchair, or 3, you're just going to be immobile from the waist down. So I had to really be proactive in finding someone immediately during a pandemic. Remember, no one was seeing anybody in person. I couldn't get an appointment with a urologist. I had no function of my organs. No one would see me until because you're a new patient for 4 weeks. So I had to act quickly, because when you have any kind of breakdown of stroke, mine was in my spine. So people were like, "Oh, did you have trouble with speaking?" I'm like, "No, it was a protein that attacked the back." So it's called transverse myelitis. And anyway, if any kind of diagnosis, in other words, of what you have, and you need to really say, what am I doing actively today to help benefit myself? So to me, working with your intuition is knowing what to do with that information that you're given in life every day, and how you're going to respond. So finding out your intuitive gifts is not only about connecting to, let's say, loved ones, or connecting to your soul purpose. So I'll give you, for instance, I had one student who lost her mom and lost her sister last year. And she just decided to take the class online, just to kind of see what it felt like. And at the end of the duration of the sessions of classes, she decided she was going to devote her life to becoming an animal rescuer for bunnies. And she wrote me a beautiful letter and said, "I can't tell you, I've never heard of this before, because I'm thinking bunnies have to be rescued. We're talking like Easter bunnies, like bunnies that have white cotton tails. Like, we're talking the pretty bunnies, not the feral bunnies." I didn't even know there was a difference. And then she's like, people would call her, bunny sighting, on CVS on Route 110, hurry up and go get it. And I was like, what the hell? I never heard of such a thing. And so when we would talk, she was like, "I put bunny ears on my car. And I'm rescuing a bunny now. Like, watch out, SOS. And she really got into it. But this is a person who wanted to find a purpose and was feeling kind of a lull in life. And now she has this zest for life, because she's now saving another life.
Yeah.
And it just felt, again, I'm not telling you, but because she intuned it, like, I think that it just started coming to her. So small miracles like that happen when you start opening up to what your intuitive gifts are. So that's one, is your soul purpose. One might be messages. Another might be attuning to your health. How about your relationships? How about when, as soon as you have a coworker or a family member, and you kind of have this feeling, or another person's around you and they have the feeling, and you're not really sure, is it mine? Is it yours? You get to kind of have a sense of where you put everything in perspective, because I think we're all, empaths.
Yeah.
hope we are, right? At least some people are. Hello, some people, not everybody at the checkout counters, and I'm okay, that's fine. But most of us, I mean, not everybody on the LIE either. So, but that's fine. It's okay. It's all good. It's all good. But you would hope that you would kind of like touch into that wise self that has that compassion, and why not have it start with you, right? Start with yourself. Because you can't, right? You can't ray the sun, girl, if you're cloudy. you gotta make your own sun. You know what I mean? I can't tell you that. Yeah, I can't tell you, being in a hospital in a pandemic with everybody with a hazmat suit on and coming in addressing you is difficult, and it was frightening. And I had to just really dig deep and say, where are you here, Lisa? You know what I mean? Where are you in your sense? And I have to also praise to my spirit friends, because there is a nonverbal, wonderful connection once you get into that intuitive circle where you're really there for each other on a totally different soul level, that it's just nonverbal. And then I would just text them, did you just come in my room? You know what I mean? And so it's just very cool. Again, going back to that eyes open, where this is not anything you would ever imagine on a list to do. Hey, I'm going to hang out and connect with people that are going to come to my room. You know what I mean? Like that's not something on your to-do list. So I invite people to try that for themselves. Come into the masterclass and see if you're going to connect to any of what they call your clairs. Are you smelling things? Are you hearing things? I really hate labeling things. If you know that when you took my class, I don't like to say, when people, paint something, how many petals? When I was a little girl, this is a cute story. Second grade, I went to Catholic school. We were all making probably a sunflower. I think it was yellow. And my mother got called in for parent day, and she goes, and the nuns were like, look at all the flowers on the wall. Everybody has their petals up in the. She had to have 2 petals on the ground. So my mother, and they said, why did you do that, little Lisa? And I was like, because they just fell off. And my mother thought that was the greatest thing. So she was like, yay. And that's just what life is being a little bit off, and to just follow your intuition. Get me on. All our petals are not attached all the time.
It's so true. It's so true.
I mean, that's just the way it is, girl, right? Yeah. That's the way it is. Right? I mean, when you start crocheting and sometimes that little hole doesn't match up, and then you got to improvise and figure out, I give you guys so much credit because you have to knot it and figure out to start again. I mean, everything has. I think that's great.
I have taken many sweaters apart and started all over again, but that's one of my meditations, so I don't get upset about it. I'm like, okay.
Well, can you when you take it apart, this is a side question, can you reuse the yarn?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, okay. So so it's sort of like erasing.
Yeah. That's
sort of like erasing. Well, that's not so bad. So with watercolor, the issue with watercolor is once you stain the paper, you stained it like a shirt, and you're already kind of married to it. So a lot of people only like oils or acrylic because it just sits there and you command it. And if you make a mistake, you cover it. But with watercolor, you have to adjust to whatever's put on there, which is life, which is kind of like life, where you have to make an adjustment. And so that's why I said to you, when I do my portraits, if I don't get the right pour, they call it, on your face, if there's what they call a water spot, I have to start over again because it hasn't blended the way I want it. It's not like I can take blush out. So there's a whole, I call it like a whole responsiveness to the paper, depending upon the temperature in the room and the humidity. So that's just what with life, though. You could meet with someone and you had a good vibe, and then they maybe could have had to shift it, or they had got an attack. The whole shift, and I think all of us are just feeling this whole wave of a shift going on. And I think if we learn how to be flexible ourselves and kind of switch and change the energy to be more of, let's say, a neutral vibe, right? Then we all can learn a little harmoniously how to live within ourselves. Our health will improve. We'll get less wrinkles, whatever. Maybe I love my wrinkles, whatever. It's all good. All of a sudden, your clothes fit a little better. Like, how did that happen? My happiness fit in these pants a little better.
Yes.
I'm sorry, I'm rambling. So let me give you dates. I'm sorry, I'm like talking. So that was the intuitive masterclass. That's Wednesday. I have paint nights coming up. I have one coming up. What am I going to show you? Friday. So what is that? We're doing vintage art. Look how cool these are. La, la, la. So anyway, so I had to come up with an idea. I thought these are so cool. We're going to be painting them, and this one is the word dream. So we're making dream art.
And those are old records.
Are they cool? I have to.
Yeah.
I have been working with these. I've done so many projects with these with my art students. They've come up with ideas, but I love this one, and so many people love it as well. There's all different concepts, but that's one. And I said to you, then I have the other mirror, and then I have I have a bottle idea. Anyway, I didn't get the materials yet, but I'm always coming up with ideas. So make sure that you're on my go on my website and sign up for the newsletter, because that's the best way I could get or watch some of my lives, and I'll talk about it. But that's tactile in front of you. Then I have the online classes, and then we have readings that I could do one-on-one readings with people. I'm very funny. I also am a channeler of Ishba, which is a really beautiful star being that comes in that's hilarious, nothing to do with me. It's a he, she, sort of a star being entity. Very funny, but that's a lot of fun. That's done one-on-one. I'm a master channeler. I have got my certification. And then we want to just do the shout out for nonprofit things that I'm doing. Am I allowed to tell you what those are?
Of course.
I have the Bethany House, which is going to be on October 27th. That's to benefit people who, I think it's for women's shelter that have been abused.
Yeah.
That's on October 27th. Somehow I'll put all this information somewhere, but the 19th is the intuitive class next week. The Friday night painting, the Bethany House is on the 27th. Then I'm going to be at the Wellness Center. That's in Hutsville. That's Hutsville. I always say that wrong. November 13th. I'll put this on my is that going to be on my website? I'll put that on my Facebook page. I'll put it on my website as well. November 20th is also going to be at the Radisson. So there's different one-on-one readings that you can have. That one is only $10. I mean, some of them are very reasonable because it goes towards a charity. So some included in the admission. So you have to just check it out. If not, message me privately and you'll say, hey, I want to see you in Long Island somewhere. If not, you can do a one-on-one with me, Facebook or here in the studio.
Yeah.
That's fine.
You can actually post those in the chat when we're done. There'll be a chat comments and you can post the pictures of your events.
Okay. There. That's I'm just going to put a shout out to Sunshine because that's like, I'm sorry, I am such the artist. When I told you I made my living as interior designer, and then I left because they wanted to do the interiors on computer. And I was like, oh God, I can sketch it faster than I could get it on the computer. So I know a lot of my friends will have moved on to doing computer work. Like I said to you, it's very, very different, but I'm sort of, I need to touch it first,
Look,
so
you just came on.
Yeah. Hello. Who's that? It was Christine. Oh, there she is. There's my bunny girl.
She was just talking about you, Christine.
Yes, we were just talking about your bunny rescuing. Here's the studio. Those people. I'm sorry, I'm making everybody dizzy. And these are angel rings. I'm going to be making another one for another client. If anybody wants angel rings. If you want to be an angel all the time in your house, whoop, 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 come on by. So does anybody have any questions? Christy, can you see anything? Anybody's asking, you can ask a question, or you want to ask any more? I could take a sip of water.
Take a sip of water. Take a breath. Woo! You got a lot of stuff coming up.
I think we should have danced.
You want to dance? Let's dance. Let me see if I could get some music. Me and Donna.
No, I don't have a dog. But I have to go find him.
You got your stuff, girl.
Picasso, come in here and dance with me. I don't think cats come like dogs do.
No.
What are I going to do?
We should do the, what's the
wait, is today? What day is today?
Today's Saturday.
I was going to say Friday for the song, but we don't have Friday.
Can you hear it? I just turned on the music.
I have to tell you that music really puts you in a good mood. You can make yourself a positive music list and just dance, right? You and I
Yeah.
love music.
You know me. I'm always dancing.
I have music that I clean to. I have music that I do paperwork to. I have music that I go on the treadmill to. This would be a workout song. There I am working out.
You're so funny.
I can't wait. So you and I are going to be at the Halloween party together. And we're going to do
Yes. It's going to be so much fun.
Yes. You're going to be a surprise. I'm going to be a surprise. I think actually we're sort of both going to have wings.
Are we?
You tell me you're going to have wings, and I think I'm going to have some type of form of a wing.
Okay.
I hope. I don't know. It's coming in the mail. If it doesn't look good on me, I have to change. I have to see if I can squeeze my body into it.
I've been piecing it together for about a month now, my costume. So
oh, that's nice.
I'm
piecing it. I'm piecing mine through Amazon. No, I don't even know where the heck I got. Actually, I don't even know what this thing is coming from. Yeah, it's too much fun, but it's all fun. It's all fun. Everybody, it's all fun. That's all I'm going to say. You got to get started. You just got to get out there. You just got to, like you said, take a deep breath. You know, I think Sunshine and I have the same premise that we give like 3 minutes of bitching time. That's it. That's it. I call it wah time. You got like 3 minutes. And I have to tell you, even when I would teach, I would say the same, okay, you know, that's it. Like, because what happens is I think even adults or children, you go through this period of time and you're like, okay, did you get it out of your system?
Yeah.
Are you going to carry that around like a garbage can with yourself? Like, what good is that going to do? Or did you ever watch that show with Jerry Springer called Baggage? Oh my God, hilarious! YouTube it. It's about a dating and the person shows what their baggage is. Do you ever see it?
I would not watch it live.
Oh no! But I'm not a Jerry Springer, but it was hilarious because the person brought 3 packages of baggage, which would mean their issues. And it was hilarious. Like it would say, what is Lisa's baggage? Liz with 3 cats. And I was like, oh my God, that's baggage. It was hilarious. Talks to dead people. You know what I mean? Like that would be my baggage. Sees shit in the sky. I mean, I don't even know. Like whatever the heck it is. It was it's hilarious. So I mean, I'm making fun of it, but in life, you can carry baggage around, and it's up to you to unload it or. Send it back like Amazon. Like send it back. Well, you don't want to give it to Amazon, but you want to give it back, change the vibration up into the universe. Because you wouldn't want to return that to anybody.
That's so funny. It's so true. It's so true. And we have the control of removing it. We are the ones that can.
Well, you know what? I think that is. You know what it reminds me of when. And they want to hold on to their shit. So they're like, no, I'm not going. And that's what it reminds me of. Like you're being like a 2-year-old and you're like, no, I want to carry it around. And then I remember saying to my kids, okay, so when that becomes uncomfortable, you'll let me know when you don't want to sit in your dirty diaper or whatever it is.
Right.
Yeah. And I mean, pain is a real motivator. People will send me like, you see somebody that either looks together, they had to go through growing pains and their life wasn't unscarred. You know what I mean? They didn't get a free pass. Nobody gets a free pass. We're here to learn. And I think when you look at someone else, like I'll say to my students, you still are going to get the lesson. You can just ask for Novocaine. Just like when you get your teeth done, you have a choice. You can say, just pull it out or give me something a little to cut the edge. Yeah. You can ask Spirit, give me, this is going to really suck. Can you give me a little grace? That's all. You're allowed to ask for some divine grace. Imagine like feathers coming in and just softening it a little bit. So you can remind, so I'm going to just say to you, Sunshine, that when you're on your plane to Hawaii, to paradise, that if it gets a little rocky, you just ask the angels to line the plane so that the ride is beautiful, right? How nice is that?
Before I even buckle my seatbelt, I am praying and thanking them for a beautiful plane ride with grace and ease.
Yes, I have this funny. I usually ask Archangel Michael to sit with me because he's hot. I want to sit next to the hot guy. Archangel Michael is very cute. Everybody
Well,
always asks when I tell them, I'm like, he's hot. So you want him to like come and hey, not like a Fabio kind of, I don't know, maybe in my mind he's kind of like a Fabio. Maybe I'm Farrah Fawcett and he's Fabio. I have no idea. Listen to me. Can you imagine? I'm like crazy. So I just said to myself, oh, look at all the angels.
You're so
You know,
funny.
it's pretty funny.
It is.
It's a lot.
You know what? It's good, you know, because you don't have to be this in the box spiritual person. You could be, you know, out of the box. I know I am.
Yes. Well, whatever you want to be in, you want to be in a box, out of a box,
Yeah.
whatever you want to be in. But if you, you know, bless the pilots, bless everybody before you get there, send your energetic line of a great trip to come back. I wish that for you, Yvonne. Everybody else is going with Steve. I was going to be with you in spirit. I was sharing with you. I you know, right now I would love to fly, but I have some medical things that I have to just wait for. But otherwise, I would be there.
Yeah. Well, next
year. Next time. I know you're doing Egypt. I know you're doing. God,
we're
I
doing.
the first thing I said was, how many hours is that? Oh my God.
I don't even know. And Arizona too.
That's easy. That I would do.
Yeah.
That I have family that I could do that instead. But again, I think that those of you who are watching that spirituality is in your own backyard. You know, it's in your own sense. You don't have to go somewhere and touch something, drink something, feel something. You know what I mean? We're traveling now. If you know, when we go to sleep, you can ask, can you travel a little bit, you know?
I couldn't find my phone before, and I just said, Spirit, where's my phone? And boom, there it was, you know.
Oh God. I have such a funny story. So I got the ring. Do you know the ring you get from Amazon that you press it and it will tell you where your phone is? Like you'll say, you know, where's my phone? It goes beep, beep,
I didn't
beep,
know.
Beep. Yeah, okay, so I ordered one of those, right? I ordered one of those. I'm ready to take it out of the package. And Spirit goes, seriously, you think that asking us wouldn't be a little faster?
Yeah. And less expensive.
They will not let me open the package. So now I'm going to gift it to someone because they've been nagging my butt. So now what they do is they play a game, purposely leave something that I can't find, and they go, go ahead. And I'm like, oh, I lost my bathing suit for 2 weeks. I'm like, it's summer. I can't find my bathing suit top. And I'm like, come on. And they're like, but you didn't ask us. You didn't ask us. And I was like, fine. And then they go, it's with the bag with the towels. And I'm like, God, it's like, it was the simplest thing.
Yeah.
It's so funny. They are, at least for me, when they come in, they're very funny because they're very literal because we're the ones who make everything complicated. You know, they're very funny. I think they're funny. I ask them to be funny, you know, maybe that's
they match your personality.
Your vibe, yeah.
I laugh all day long. You know?
I know. I don't know. Well, I think that's what's happening is that, you know, when someone, at least for me, if somebody they're like, oh, who are you talking to? who are you laughing with? And now I just like, I'll go, you know, if there's an animal near me, right? The cat. That's okay. We're going to be the happy old ladies wherever we're going to be. In a home or wherever the hell we're going to be. We're going to be like the funny ones. I want to be the funny one till the day I die. I want to be the funny one. It's fine.
Yeah.
Happy. And even
colorful.
if I have no teeth, I want to be smiling in a way.
We'll be happy and colorful and free.
Yes, colorful, happy, everything. It's all good. I'm very excited. Well, I'm so happy that you came to class at the mandala class at the center. Was that not a beautiful center, by the way?
It was I love that center.
Beautiful, 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 beautiful. So I'm happy we got to meet up and should I say I'm the girl in the west, you're the girl in the east. We're both vibing the same vibe, girl. We're both slapping our paintbrushes around.
Yes, I love it.
Lots of fun coming in.
Yes, lots of fun and just spreading the joy, right? Spreading
the joy, or I think we're assisting in the joy. You know, there are some people who, like you said, want to be, when they're ready to travel over the bridge and get over the muck, it's their choice. You know what I mean? I never feel like I should push anybody there. It's their choice, right? Like the dog. Right. Do you walk your dogs? Do you walk your dogs?
I
do they go
walk.
out?
They have a huge backyard, but
But do
they
they
do
go on a
get walked.
leash? Okay, but it
Yeah,
reminds
once
me of
in a
like a
while.
dog. Like, you know, when you're with the owner, it's like, come on, go already. And it's raining out and they're pulling the dog. They're like,
Yeah,
come
yeah.
on. Like, if I'm on the phone with my sister, she's always arguing with the dog. And I'm like, stop arguing with the dog. So I think that's really like in life, you know, if you can either get pulled along or you could just
Right.
go a little bit easier and just go with the kind of flow and just say, as soon as you, even a child, like as soon as you stop resisting, I learned that very early, you know, when you're constantly, and then you go, whatever. And then they just go, or whatever it is that you, so the same thing in life, whatever you're resisting now, it's because you're pushing up against the wall. Just
Right.
let it go. And half the time, the door, when it says pull or push, and you start doing this kind of a thing, and you're like, and then you realize you're going in the wrong direction. That's probably what's happening in your life.
Yeah.
You're in the wrong direction.
A lot of people don't understand or know how to let go, though. And that's, that's a learning lesson.
Right. Well, isn't
Right.
that like riding a bike? You're learning balance. So
Right.
maybe, I mean, I'll share another quick personal story. I have all three eating disorders. So people will ask me, what does that look like? I says, well, I would have a conversation with the food or without the food. So if you have any kind of, like for me, the addiction, where I have a conversation, well, why do you not want to eat the food, or why do you want to eat the food? So the same thing with your problem or your baggage. Why are you holding on to it? What is it serving you? What is the lesson? And sometimes, I know for me, I don't want to learn the lesson. I want to just be shitty. I want to just sit here and go, I'm being wronged. I'm being a victim. Okay, when you're done doing
Right.
that, the
It's so,
suitcase pops open and the genie comes out, boom.
yeah.
So I think it's a matter of allowing people to, but again, you and I talk about, your 5-minute ranting, la, 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 and then you're done. Because otherwise you stay in that vibration. You wonder why your health is not good. You wonder why you have headaches. You wonder why, you have car dents in your car. You're hitting everything. Nobody sees you, whatever, blah, 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 all this stuff. Miscommunication, getting insulted all the time. Well, because you're setting that vibration.
Right.
Get
Right.
yourself, right? Release
Yeah.
the baggage. It's not easy. I close the bag sometimes, and I want to like not let all of it out, and I close it back in. I think we all, that's what we're here for, right?
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
To learn to let it go. To learn to let it go. That's all. And we're here to help each other. Like sometimes, someone else can point it out for you. Hey,
Right.
What are you doing? And you need that little tap on the shoulder. And spirit will do it for you. Your loved ones, your friends, something will spark on a message on a page or something. You go, oh, that sounds like me,
Yeah.
and then you'll see it. And then you'll learn it, and then you forget it, and then you do it all over again. When you think you've mastered it, you're like, oh crap, I'll say to people, like they'll say to me, oh, I removed them from my life. Oh, really? Okay. You don't think they're going to come back in another form? Okay, let's see how that goes.
Right. Right. Right.
Did you really, 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 really learn it? Let's just check it. Let's just check it one more time. Let's just check it, It's okay though. It's got, look at us. We're laughing about it. That makes it so much easier.
That's right. And it's so true, because you have to learn completely that lesson. Or they're just going to keep coming back.
Right. And you know what? If they do, then maybe you'll laugh at it. You'll
Right.
say, here
Right.
you come.
React differently to it.
Yeah,
Right.
here you come. Here you come, bitches. I'm not falling for it this time. Right? I'm not doing it. Here you come. Yeah, you can come, but I'm not gonna take it, but
That's right.
we can say that because it sets itself up differently. I'm serious. Like I've had, kids. I'm not like that where I don't think I can learn a lesson from anyone. So if I have, I had, students that were 8 years old. If I don't think I'm going to learn, hello, that's how vain are you that you think that there's a certain age only old people can teach you a lesson. Everybody can. Your animals can teach you a lesson.
Yeah.
And you have to laugh your butt about it. Laugh off about it, because you can't get, you can get upset. And I think that everybody is entitled to moments of that. Boo-hoo. Sometimes I'll say, you know what? I guess you want to cry. I guess you want to wash your eyes out. Go wash your eyes out. And then I wash my eyes out, and now, how did that feel? You know what I mean? And I
Yeah.
think that, and even like when I talk about like, having an eating disorder, like, how many bags of chocolate do you eat till you actually feel whatever it is that you're looking to feel? Okay, so
Right.
how about you try, sometimes I used to do this, pretend you ate the piece of chocolate, and then how do you feel now? But that's the same thing. If you meet someone who you really get, having a conflict with, now you want to tell them off, whatever it is. Pretend you or write it out that you've told them how you felt, blah, blah, blah. What does that feel like? At the end of the day, what does it feel right? Those are your feelings. They're valid. You're working them out. You don't have to explain it to anybody how you got to that point, right? It's about
Right.
you working your stuff through, and we're either working it together or you're working it alone. But if you're sitting in your stuff, hello, that's not working.
That's not working.
That's like painting the black. So I used to have a paint night. So one time my daughter, she had her friends over and they were all drinking on booze. And that's why I went to the paint night with alcohol. Because by the end of the night, they all made, not that there's nothing wrong with that, but it was supposed to be like a rainbow. And it was a black painting because they had taken all their colors and mixed them together. And I'm like, hello, all the colors together are going to make muck. So that is your life. You know what I mean? I mean, muck is good. You know what I mean? If you want to make a gray sky or something, but not everything should be like that. So hello.
So
You want
fun.
to walk around in this stew, then you keep doing this. But if you want to change it up, keep your yellows in yellow, keep your orange here, orange, and your pinks and your pinks and your purples.
Right.
And you'll be shining all those colors, all your chakras. Whoop. That's it. I try, girl.
I love it. I love it. Yay.
Yay! So thank you. Thank you. I should do, I know you do your singing. I usually spin around and share. I do this kind of thing. I do this little spinning thing. Some people get all dizzy and they're like, what are you doing? I'm like, I don't know, I'm just spinning.
Well, is there a message that you want to say out loud to our beautiful audience that is watching?
I would say that now is the time. I think people are always perpetually waiting. They think they're not ready to start something. I tell you how I do a sketchbook. Oh, I have to get a sketchbook. You have a pen, right? You have some paper. Just do it now. Like,
Right.
Stop making an excuse that you're not. I'm going to wait till I get to a certain weight. I'm going to wait till Monday. I'm going to wait till this one comes in my life. Stop waiting. That's my message. Stop waiting. Now is the time. Now is the time for you. Now is the time to make the change. Now is the time to be happy.
Yes. I love it.
That's the message.
Thank you, love.
Yay.
Woo!
Thank you. And yes, so much love to you and have a great trip in Hawaii.
Thank you.
Yeah. I can't wait to see you dancing with the hula and you lay on you. Whoop, whoop. I can't wait to hear the whole story. And then I'll see you for Halloween. Yay. I cannot wait.
It's going to be so much fun. So much fun.
Yeah, you'll be sending us good vibes.
Yes.
Can't wait, girl. Can't wait. Thank you so
Definitely,
much.
definitely
Thank you
good
for having me on. Thank you for having me in your soul space. I appreciate it. One day I'll come out to your space. One day you'll come out to my space and we'll hug and dance and put on crazy music. It'll be all good.
I love it. Too wild and crazy.
Too wild and crazy. We're really going to dance. I want to put comments on, but we'll do something crazy.
Beautiful, beautiful. Well, thank you so much reach out to Lisa. She has so many amazing events coming up. She's gonna put it in the comments, right? All your events.
I'm gonna send it to you to put in the comments because I'm not sure how to do that.
Oh, I could do that then.
You do it, yeah.
I'll do it. All right,
You're
love.
very savvy. All right, love. Thank you so much. Thank you, everybody, for watching. Thank you for watching on the replay. Send out connect.
Lisa Fazio. Yes. Reach out to that goddess. She is amazing. She's got many, many modalities, and she's such a beautiful soul. A happy, healthy, wealthy woman. Yes. Thank you all for coming and watching the replay. I love each and every one of you. Have an amazing night. Yes. Okay, now it's not going on. Wait, one more time. Ready? Yeah.
This is the moment we've been waiting for. Be the right in the world of time for sure. Na 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 na. Got to get that feeling.